Well, here we are with the GoldTone GT GoldTone Banjitar, made by GoldTone. I've had this for a couple of years. It's just been sitting around. I haven't played it much lately. I'm gonna take all the strings off. I marked where the bridge is. I'm gonna clean it up and restring it. That's the event for this evening. What a thrill, huh? Like I said, the first thing I'm gonna do is de-string it. Wrong way. These are GoldTone Banjitar strings. These are a 10 to 52 custom gauge, quote unquote. These have been strung up for a long time, and it's kind of dirty. I've had it out, just sitting in the back of the room with all my other stuff, and it just needs a little love. So we're going to take all these off. We'll clean up the guitar. We'll make sure everything's good and tight. And I'll be back to you in a minute. Well, another thing, too, that's a little different about the Banjitar is the way that these strings mount. Usually you have these eyes that pass through a piece and it hooks and catches on. These actually have a post that you put the loop through, boom, and then send them out. So we're going to take all of these off right now. I don't know if you can see the post there. I think you can clearly see the post that the eyelets mount into on this. So what we're going to do is this is really messy. There's a slot where the string can fit through, so you can pass them right down. I've marked out on here where the bridge goes. I don't know if you can see that either. Let's see if we can zoom. Oh, you can. Okay. So you can see the pencil marks I left. So I know where to put the bridge back to. It goes right in there by those pencil lines, and we'll wiggle it into place when we go to put it back on. A little housekeeping to do. I've let this go too long. This is a nice little instrument. It doesn't deserve to be treated the way I have treated it. I did this makeover quite a while ago. I made put a resonator. It comes with a plastic resonator. I didn't like it at all. I didn't like the sound of it. So I found a wood resonator online. I drilled a hole in it and made it fit on this GoldTone. And put it on here, and I made a video about that. At the same time I did that video, I did the inlays and showed how I did the inlays and stuff. This Banjitar has a truss rod, so we'll check the truss rod for straightness, and I assume we'll just set this up like a guitar. So we'll take a look and see what the see if this takes a Fender scale or what. It's got a big back bow in it. Alright, so maybe I can help myself by making a truss rod adjustment and make this play a little bit easier and a little better. In order to do that, we've got to take the plate off. Really dirty, people, sorry. It's a dusty mess, and I'm not quite sure how I want to clean this up. I just want to do some wax or what? Make sure everything's tight. I'm going to treat this with all the respect I can, because I haven't touched this for quite a while. So we'll tighten up all the tuners. They're not loose. The screws have just settled, into the wood like they do over the years. And this is a couple-year-old. But it's good to make sure everything is the way it should be. And just make sure all of these are tight. Yeah, that's kind of loose. So it's really disgraceful the way this person kept this. Wait a minute, that person is me. I kept this in crummy condition, really just sitting out. And I've never gone back and cleaned it up since it's been here. and I should have done that a long time ago. These with the Zero Glide and the first thread, so that's a nice little piece of information. We'll lift that out, and we'll take the insignia out. We'll take the light and take a look down and see if we can find the truss rod. And there it is, sitting right there. Now let's see if we can find the right. There shouldn't be any funny business. Yeah, and that's it right there. So I got the truss rod wrench in. Right now what we've got is a back bow in this, and I want to straighten it out. You know, it's like shaped like that right now. So we want to turn the truss rod to get it to go flat. And we'll check it here after another quarter turn and see if we're doing anything. I'll see if the truss rod is doing anything or if we're going the right way. Alright, so that's getting worse. So I need to go the other way. The neck to be flatter. Now I've taken all the tension pretty much off the neck. We'll see what that does. It's getting better. Well, that straightened the neck right there. The neck right now is straight as an arrow. That's good. So the nuts here on the headstock so that the tuners are all tight. All right. I'm glad I looked at that truss rod. That should make a big difference in playability and so forth. I need to clean up the drum disc here. You put everything to make it work right. You throw the what do you call that? The tunability off. All right, so that's all the cleaning we got to do. I'm not going to get crazy over this. When I get done with this side, I'll flip it over and do the back. All right. Do that in a minute. I'll do that in a few minutes. Because first I got to put the new strings on. And that's the next order of business. So the bridge is going to sit about there. This is going to swing up this way. And we're going to loop the strings through. I think I'll do the E and the E first, one on each end, just to kind of get it straight. And we're going to make a bend in the string so that it will catch and bend down and stay on easily on the peg. Can you see how I'm catching that? That's getting caught there. This is going to go over onto the bridge, and the bridge needs to be about there. And this is not going to stay centered until I get the first and second string on there. And we're going to repeat that process all over again. And I'll bring you back up to the other end so you can see what I'm doing up there. So I put a bend into the string. We'll fit it over the end onto that loop, then through the hole. All right, so that's this end. Now we're going to come up to the other end and see if we can't get this string through the hole, and then we can line up the truss rod. Line up the bridge back there on the other end. So I'm going to do a few wraps of that string, and then we're going to pass this through. We'll try to get this one tightened up, and that'll begin to align the bottom here. So if I put you down at the end, you can kind of see what we're doing. The bridge is totally whacked out now. I want to bring this over this way and get it to stay about there. And we're too far over the other way, so we've got to come back that way just a bit. And I guess I'm going to have to put a couple more strings on to get this thing to stay in place. and tighten it up a bit. So we'll get this rigged up a little more, and we'll be back. Okay? Stand by. All right, back to the Banjitar from GoldTone. We got all the strings on. It was a bit of a struggle, and I got the bridge placed back where it belongs. I did make an adjustment to the neck and lowered the action some with that. It would be nice to lower the bridge some, but I'm not going to screw around with that because I've never dealt with a banjo bridge before. We've done our truss rod adjustment. We've cleaned it up a little bit here. I got to put the cover back on, cut the strings down to size, and we'll be ready to play this. I'm going to clean up the back a little bit too. And that'll do it for the GoldTone Perk Me Up. Okay, we're just finishing up, putting the truss rod cover back on that says GoldTone. Well, I really chipped up some of the, oh no, it's just junk. Okay, I got one black spot there. If I cover with magic marker, the problem with that is the marker is shiny. And that's a flat finish. So we'll just, as they say in the trade, leave it alone. We'll show you that this thing is all done. I tuned it up. The tune-up will probably fall out of tune. Yeah. And we'll see if we can get this in the screen. And we'll do just a little bit of playback. Not a big deal. Alright, so we'll let that be, and that'll be it for tonight. We'll let those strings sit and stretch, and we'll go back at it again tomorrow morning, because it's getting late. Geez, it's pushing 10 o'clock. It's late for the old guy. Thanks for listening. See you later. So we finished the string change. We put on these GoldTone Banjitar strings, 10 to 52. That went well. We shaved down the bridge and lowered the action all the way around. I did a truss rod adjustment and brought the action down quite a bit lower than what it was. And we tuned it up and played it up, and it plays really well. We put the cover back on, we cleaned up the tuners, and it's in pretty good shape now. So maybe we'll play a song in a minute and see how that goes. All right. Okay, we fixed up the GoldTone. Let's do a quick little play and show you how the thing sounds. We lowered the action, I lowered the bridge, I did a neck adjustment, I cleaned up the whole Banjitar here. Plays well. Crisp and clean, like brand new. Nice. GoldTone. Banjitar, 6-string. Banjo guitar. If you can play a guitar, you can play a banjo guitar.